Yes, you had a question. What is the question?
So the question is, how can ego function in a person who has realized, who is enlightened, and through the stages of with Brahmavara and Brahmavarishta?
Okay, so
What function?
yeah, your question is clear. Brahmavid, Brahmavara, Brahmavarenya, Brahmavarishta are 4 stages of Jnani. 4 manifestation of Jnani, not stages I would say. For the world, the Jnanis appear like Brahmavid, Brahmavara, Brahmavarenya, Brahmavarishta. Okay. So now, how ego can survive in this Jnani is the first question, right? Now,
Yes.
please understand, if ego is gone completely, the body is dead. There's nobody who to function in the world. For any functioning in the world, ego is required. Otherwise, that functioning, the body will not be surviving. That's why Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, after he got jnana, the body can drop. That's why he kept some desires, like eating sweets, so that he can transfer the knowledge to Swami Vivekananda and others. That means a minimal ego will be remaining. Am I clear?
Yes.
So the minimal ego is retained by nature. Why no? A jnana has to be given by jnani. In the sense, we have heard, no? You have to learn Atma Jnana from a Brahmanishta and Shrotriya. That means only Jnani can give real enlightenment, real knowledge of Jnana.
Okay.
So Brahmanishta is required, right?
Yes.
If Brahmanishta means somebody who is established in Brahman is required. Now what will happen if somebody gets Brahmajnana and immediately dies, then there is no Brahmanishta possible. Correct, no?
Yes.
So that means, to be Brahmanishta, ego has to survive after Jnana. That's primary. Okay? Now, this ego is a dead ego or transformed ego. It's a purified ego. Right? It is more like, example given is, there's a rope and you burn the rope. The ashes will appear like a rope, but there's no rope there. Nothing bonding is possible in the ego. That means the ego which he has will not bind him further. Understand? The ego is there, but it cannot bind him.
Okay.
It is like a burnt rope. So now, what is the difference between a Adnani and a Jnani? Adnani is driven by the ego. Intellect of the Adnani works under the influence of the ego, unconsciously. Whereas, the ego of the Jnani, which is a purified ego, burnt ego, is used by the Jnani. Ego doesn't use him, he uses the ego.
Okay.
Who uses the ego? Somebody who is Stita Prajna, he uses the ego. He doesn't get used by the ego.
Okay.
Right? He is unconsciously, he doesn't get trapped in the I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. The concept of ego, he doesn't get trapped. Doesn't mean that the thoughts will not arise. The thoughts will arise, but he just doesn't get unconsciously attached to the thought. Are we clear?
Yes.
So, in case of a Jnani possesses the ego, but ego doesn't possess him.
Okay.
In case of Adnani, ego possesses the Adnani. It's like a ghost possessing a person. So Jnani is the one who has got rid of the ghost. Now ghost is its command. Is the difference clear? So the ego, if I call it as a ghost, which is not real. So Jnani uses that ego for continuing teaching. Right?
Yes.
Is this much clear?
Yes.
So, now, why does a Jnani will have ego after Jnana? That question. So, that is by the law of nature, Prakriti. So, the Prakriti, for Jnana to continue the world, Only Jnani can give Atma Jnana clearly. So that means a Jnani has to survive after Jnana. Otherwise that Atma Jnana will not be passed on. For teaching in Vedanta, Brahmanishta and Shrotriya is required. Brahmanishta is one who is established in Brahman. Suppose, imagine somebody gets established in Brahman, immediately dies. Then there's nobody to pass on the Jnana.
Yes.
So this will violate the requirement that Brahmanishta and Shrotriya has to give Jnana. That's why the nature Prakriti ensures that the Brahmanishta doesn't die, the ego doesn't die immediately after Jnana.
Okay.
Ego will continue, but in a transformed or burnt way. So this is why Shiva is shown with a serpent in his neck. The serpent is an ornament for Shiva.
Okay.
The serpent is the ego. He uses the ego as an ornament, means for a showpiece. Right? He is not controlled, or the poison of the ego doesn't hurt him. Whereas a jiva is tremendously affected by the poison of the ego. This is the difference between jiva and Shiva. Shiva represents the Jnani. So Jnani has a functional ego for the purpose of functioning in the world.
Okay.
So this functional ego is not binding him psychologically. It's for functioning. Right? So that is the state of a Jnani. Now how long this ego will last? The ego will last till the prarabdha karma of the body is exhausted. Right? Body is like a vehicle.
Okay.
Vehicle has an expiry date. So till the expiry date, the body will have to continue. It cannot be terminated. So what is the prarabdha karma package for Jnani or anybody matter? Some punya has to materialize or papa has to materialize, exhausted. So this punya will materialize in terms of recognition, praise by the society. Papa will materialize as diseases in the body. Right? Both have to get exhausted in this lifetime. So till that point of time, a residual ego or a transformed ego continues in the body. Continues. Right? Are we clear? So now, that transformed ego, now they come to a situation. Jnani, he is not under the influence of ego. He has the ego under his control. In the sense, he uses the ego as an ornament piece. He has a body, which is a vehicle.
Yes.
Right? Now, vehicle use is over for him. Because whatever he has to gain, he has already gained. So then what will do? He will use the vehicle for Loka Kalyana. Right? It is exactly like last month, I had so many pants, trousers in my cupboard. They are old, but they are good condition. I cannot any longer use them. I will give it to, donate it to some charitable cause. If I cannot use it, I will use it for, let somebody else use. So Jnani lends his body for Loka Kalyana. In that sense, his vehicle is given for Loka Kalyana. It's rent.
Okay.
Right? So he says this body is there. The body will not die until prarabdha karma is over. So long the body has life. Now this body be used for Loka Kalyana, public use. Correct?
Yes.
So that's how Jnani decides to give this body for Loka Kalyana.
Okay.
So now, there are two types of vasana. Vasana is Veshti vasana, individual vasana, and Samashti vasana.
Okay.
Veshti vasana is individual vasana. Individual vasana is I want happiness, I want this, I want that, right? For selfish reason. So now, the Veshti vasana is gone with Jnana, Atma Jnana. When I am Brahman, I am pure awareness, I am Ananda Swarupa. Where is the Veshti vasana left? I want to get happiness from the outer world. Veshti vasana goes.
Okay.
Right? Prarabdha karma continues, please understand. Body continues, but vasana, Veshti vasana, which will cause him to do some action, will gone. Right? So now, Veshti vasana has gone. Vasanas normally in any individual, whether it's a ignorant person or a Jnani, Vasanas will rise, they will become thoughts, thoughts will become action, and action will become the result.
Yes.
Without Vasana, there is no thought, there is no action.
Correct.
A Jnani will not become like a vegetable. His Vasana will rise. Right? If he has Vasana, Vasana has to rise. But there is no Veshti Vasana. Veshti Vasana is practically gone. But he has a Veshti Vasana. The Veshti Vasana is a compassion. I want to help people. Understand? There is a Veshti Vasana only. I want to help the society. Whatever Jnana I got, I want to give it back. So this Veshti Vasana is still pending in him. But Veshti Vasana for I want happiness, all those are gone. I want to do service to the world is Veshti Vasana is still pending because all his life has done sadhana as a service. So that Veshti Vasana, deep-rooted Veshti Vasana to do service to the world is still pending. So now he sees the suffering in the world and his actions will be based on the Veshti Vasana but for fulfilling the Samashti Vasana. Samashti Vasana is what? There is a suffering. People are seeking Jnana. So he may start teaching Jnana. Are you getting what I'm saying? How Veshti Vasana and Samashti Vasana are cooperating with each other. Is that clear or not?
Yes.
Right? Veshti Vasana comes in the form of I want to help people, compassion. Samashti Vasana is what pull gives, pull. Oh, this is where the teaching is required. So now he starts living a Samashti life, not a Veshti life.
Okay.
Alright? So now how long will continue? Until the prarabdha karma of the body is exhausted. Is this much clear? So now your question is, how can a Jnani have ego?
Yes, and also how can a Jnani have even a Vyasti Vasana which is like anger?
We'll come to that, right?
Yeah.
So there's two parts to the question. How can Jnani have ego? I gave the example of Jnani, why Jnani has to have ego, because the body will drop.
Correct.
Correct, no?
Yeah. Misunderstood. Yeah.
So now, in case of a person who is very ripe seeker, a Pakva Sadhaka, okay, which we call Uttam Adhikari, he has done enough of Upasana, Karma Yoga, and everything he has done. So he has Shama, Dama, Titiksha, Uparati, Shraddha, Samadhana, Mumukshatva, he has developed to full extent. For him, he is already very close to qualities of Sthitapradna. For him, the moment Atma Jnana is given, liberation and enlightenment is simultaneous. Alright? Now it doesn't mean that his body will die. His vasanas are practically gone and he has a clarity, I am Brahman. So he has attained a highest state.
Okay.
Right? But what happens in the modern day world, people are not Uttama Sadhakas, they are Madhyama or Adama Sadhakas. Right? Their vasanas have not gone fully. But they are still able to come to Jnana because of their whatever the punya karma or because of whatever reason. They are able to get some good amount of Jnana, possibly. They get understanding, a good understanding, what you call Jnana, I am Brahman. Okay? Aham Brahmasmi, Jnana has come. But Aham Brahmasmi is not, Jnana is not established. Jnana Nishtha has not happened. Right? Nishtha means establishment of Jnana is not happened.
Okay.
So for them, the prescribed practice is Nididhyasa.
Okay.
So to remove the remaining vasana, because he has not come with the full purified vasana. So that means his liberation is work in progress.
Okay.
Are we clear? So you understand the Uttama Sadhaka. Uttama Sadhaka, there is no liberation, is not work in progress. It's instantaneous.
Okay.
He is like a dry wood. The moment dry wood is rubbed with another wood, it will catch fire.
Okay.
A Madhyama Sadhaka or Adama Sadhaka is like a wet wood. His liberation is work in progress. He has got an Atma Jnana. But he has not become Jnana Nishtha.
Okay.
Understand? For him, vasanas will keep coming and rising and he will have to work on that. What is the work required? He has to, what we call as Nididhyasa. If he is a Grahastha, he has to continue the Karma Yoga Sadhana. If he is a house monk, he has to focus more on Nididhyasa. A grahastha will have household responsibility continue as a part of prarabdha karma. He has to continue karma yoga and nididhyasa until the liberation is full.
Okay.
Right? Until he becomes jnana nishta.
Okay.
We have to understand the difference between jnana and jnana nishta. Jnana is more or less very clear. I am Brahman. I have understood. There's most of the people say, no, hey, I know I have understood Vedanta. I know I am Brahman. Now what next? The what next is nididhyasa karma yoga. Until you become Brahmanishta, Jnananishta. Is this clear?
Yes, this is clear.
Okay. So now let us take the case. The next part of the question we have to ask is what?
So how does he progress through the stages of asama sakti and...
Okay. So now there are 7 stages of Jnana Bhumika. Right? 7 stages of enlightenment. They are called Jnana Bhumika. Right? First he gets a desire for liberation, mumukshatva.
Yes.
So then he will start doing self-enquiry, then his mind will become refined, then in the stage 5, he gets Atma Jnana. Understand? Stage 4. Stage 4 is Atma Jnana. Right? This is called Sattvapati. Right? In the Sattvapati stage, he has got Atma Jnana. Okay? That means he has attained a clarity, I am Brahman. He has seen the self. That means he is no longer intellectual knowledge. Okay? Up to the stage 3, it is still a knowledge at the intellect. Right? But after the stage 3, okay, it becomes a established knowledge. In the sense, it is no longer, it's an anubhava, anubhuti. That means he has got a aparoksha anubhuti.
Yes.
Right? Up to stage 3, it's a paroksha jnana. Right? You understand the difference between paroksha jnana and aparoksha jnana?
Yes.
Yes. So, stage number 1 is called mumukshatva. He is seeking liberation. Right?
Yes.
Stage number 2 is what we call as stage number 1 is called, he has this one here, what is it? He has a desire for liberation. Shubhecha. It's called Shubhecha. Right? Okay. Shubhecha is the first stage. That means he has a Shubha Icha. I want to get liberated.
Right.
Then when he goes to next stage, okay, he develops Viveka and Vairagya. Shat Sampati. Right? He Vicharana. He starts enquiry. Who am I? Under the guidance of a competent master.
Yes.
Then Tanu Manasa means third stage. Tanu Manasa, mind has become very refined. Tanu Manasa. Tanu means is a thread. Manasa means mind. Mind has become very thread-like. Gross mind has become subtle. So, right now he has understood Aham Brahmasmi, Sarvam Khalveda Brahma, all this intellectual understanding is very clear. But still he doesn't, it is called Paroksha Jnana is very clear. Aparoksha Jnana is not there. That means he has not seen the truth directly. Correct? At the stage 4, Sattvapati stage, he has Aparoksha Jnana. I am Brahman. Right? Up to stage number 3, Tattvamasi, you are Brahman and I am Brahman, he is meditating. Aham Brahmasmi, Sohamasmi is meditating. But at the stage 4, he can clearly see Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. That means Paroksha Jnana has become Aparoksha Jnana. Correct, no? So now, where he has seen the Brahman, he has seen in Samadhi.
Yes.
Right? Samadhi is the place where you see the Brahman.
Yes.
And please understand, samadhi is a state of mind. Samadhi is not permanent realization. So he has attained samadhi, glimpse of truth. But he has a glimpse now. Earlier intellectual knowledge is that, now he has got a real knowledge, real experience of aparoksha jnana. So now, from stage 1 to, we have, if we consider our waking state, dream state, deep sleep state as stage 1 to 3. So now he has come to 4th stage, which is actually samadhi. Samadhi is also still mental. The mind is absorbed temporarily in nirvikalpa samadhi with Atma. Temporarily. Correct? But the mind will come out with vasanas, pending vasanas. Correct? But just because he has seen himself, many of the vasanas get burnt. Veshti vasana. May not be fully. Okay? And practically, now he has understood I am Brahman. His Veshti vasanas have become weak. But his job responsibility, family responsibility may continue, because he may be a king, or he may be a prime minister, or he may be a driver, or whatever is that. So he will continue to function in the world as if nothing has happened. Nobody will know that he is a Jnani. That is the stage 4. It's called Brahmavid. But progressively, his actions will move from Veshti to Samashti. For Loka Kalyana, actions will happen more for Loka Kalyana rather than individual fulfillment. Individual fulfillment he may do. He's taking care of family, all those things he may do, but he will try to do something more and more for the Samashti. And why he is doing? Because his prabdha karma is pending. Because a burnt ego is still there. Burnt, it's not fully burnt. Correct? Now, to burn the fully, ego burn fully, he has to keep on going back to Turiya, which means Samadhi. Samadhi or Turiya, I am speaking same thing. Turiya is the 4th, beyond 3 states. In the form of Samadhi, he will go and come back. Turiya is not a state. Turiya is a reality. But he will be able to access the reality once in a while. Maybe morning to evening he will work in the office. Night he may enter into Turiya for some time, Samadhi, and come back. Right? But every time when he enters in Turiya, transcendental state, his vasanas are getting modified. There's getting something get burnt. Right? It's not fully burnt. Okay? Are we clear now?
Yes.
So now, gradually, if vasanas are getting burnt, then he will enter into a stage, next stage called, it's called next state of Jnana Bhumika, which is called Asamasakti. Now he is called Brahmavid Vara, means he is greater than Brahmavid.
Yes.
What has happened to him? He has Asamasakti developed. Asamasakti means disinterest in the objects of the world, happens from the objects of the world.
Okay.
Are we clear? Now, the question comes, how Jnani can have still, why Brahmavid doesn't have disinterest? See, up to stage number 3, which is actually Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasa, it's all sadhana, spiritual practice. Paroksha Jnana. Through Viveka and Vairagya, he is developing the Vedanta. He understands world is not giving happiness. All those things he has understood. It's a Paroksha Jnana, indirect knowledge. Now, Aparoksha Jnana is getting once in a while every day. Aparoksha Jnana, he is going able to touch Turiya once in a while. So now he is getting more and more established in Turiya.
Okay.
Right? So what will happen? Now, Asamasakti, disinterest in the objects of the world, which was a sadhana before stage number 1 to 3, starts becoming a reality.
Okay.
Now he has tasted the nectar, Amrita. Okay, now everything looks tasteless. Right? Up to the stage 3, which is what we call as Shubhecha, Tanumanasi and Vicharana. Now he was doing a sadhana, there is ego involved. He is developing that effort. Paroksha Jnana.
Yeah.
Right? Are you clear? So now,
yes,
it's no longer Paroksha Jnana. Objects of the world, he has seen the tasted Amrita, nectar. For him, coffee, tea or anything else looks very tasteless. Right? Because he has understood, he has got the taste of the bliss. Right? So now, taste of the happiness of the external object becomes insignificant. That's why it becomes asamasakti. Okay, which is called Brahmavid Vara. He seems to be more disinterested in the objects of the world.
Okay.
So now he has moved into next stage. So gradually what will happen? Still the objects are there.
There are no more vyasti.
Huh?
The vasanas at this stage are no more vyasti.
Vasanas, Vesti vasanas are dissolving because I don't have anything to do with the happiness of the world.
Okay.
Right? Brahmavid Vara has come. So now he moves into Brahmavid Varenya. What will happen to him now? In the Brahmavid third stage, the objects of the world are real, but they are tasteless. Right? The object is there. Maybe a car is there, maybe some bungalow is there, or maybe some mango is there. He understands there is no permanent happiness in them. So in that sense, they become tasteless, or he doesn't. They cannot give happiness. That he has understood. Because he has found the real happiness in the Atma, so other things have become secondary. Which stage? Tanumanasi stage, which is Brahmavid Vara. Brahmavid Varenya, he starts experiencing the objects of the world is unreal.
Okay.
So there is no object also now. Objects are appearing, but they are not real.
Okay.
Right?
Padartha
So it's called Padartha Abhavani. That he knew even before he come to stage 4 Sattopati or stage 4 Brahmavid. He knew through Vedanta study. Right? He knew that the world is unreal, Jagat Mithya, all those things he knew. But let's say Paroksha Jnana. Now Aparoksha Jnana is setting in. Objects of the world are really, the object is there but it's not there. Appearance is there but it's not there. So that deeper clarity is coming. That's why it's called Padartha Abhavani. Right? So to give an example, Earth is going. Every day morning sun is rising in the east and setting in the west. We think sunrise is there, sunset is there. Then when one day we realize that sun is not rising and setting, Earth is going around the sun. Next day morning when you see the sun, still sun is rising and is setting in the east, but we don't get a concept that sun is going around the earth. So that means Padartha Abhavani, objects of the world is unreal, has become more and more clear to him.
Okay.
Right? So earlier, in the stage 4, stage 5, where what was that? Asamasakti, the objects are there, but he was not interested. Now objects themselves are not real, so that further interest will go down. Understand?
Yes.
So that's why it's called Brahmavid Varenya. Now we will come to Brahmavid Varishta. So now, when the objects of the world are unreal, right, there is nothing called inner and outer. Transcendent, immanent, there is no difference now. It's one reality. Right? Till the point objects are there, there is a transcendent and immanent. Inner and outer world, still some distinction is there. So now, this distinction between inner and outer world collapses. There's only one reality which is beyond the subject and object. Correct? The subject and object, one reality is called Brahman.
Okay.
So now, he operates from that state of Brahman. So now he has become Turiyaga or Turiyatita. Why is called Turiyatita? Because up to the stage 6, he will go to Turiya and come back. Now he is staying in Turiya and comes back for functioning purpose.
Okay.
Right? To give an example, okay, this 7th stage of Jnana Bhumika, somebody has heard of America. I want to see America, there's a desire. So he is trying to get a visa for America. So this is called first stage, second stage, third stage, which is actually Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasa. Okay, now that means he has heard of Atma Jnana, Mumukshatva, he wants to get it. Then he has come to third stage. In the fourth stage, he got a visa to America. That means he goes to Sattopati. That means he is able to go to Turiya and come back. business visa, equivalent of that. He cannot stay there.
Actually saw it, but he is not part of it yet.
He cannot stay there.
Yeah.
It's still a samadhi, a mental stage. Okay, now he has to come back again. He has to come back to India in case of America business visa. In case of in case of Atma Dhyana, he has to Turiya he sees and comes back to world. Right? But a person who has to go on to America and come back, his lifestyle is changed. Now you can see subtle accent in his stage life. Okay, he changes the way of dressing because he has in America has influenced him. Not fully. So similarly, somebody who has seen Turiya, his life is influenced by the Turiya.
Yes.
So it's called Turiya because it's beyond waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. He is going there and coming there. He is not able to stay there. Right? Why? Because his vasanas are pulling him. Which vasana? Veshti vasana. He has a family responsibility to take care. Everything is to be done.
Okay.
Correct? Not that he will run away. He has to something pending work. Those vasanas will come. As they are all pending work is part of the prarabdha karma. They'll keep coming. Maybe he is a married, maybe he is householder, maybe he has a child, maybe he has a job. So some of these pending vasanas will pull him back to the society. Right? But his life is transformed. A person who goes to America and comes back, his lifestyle is changed. This person's lifestyle is changed. That's why he's called Brahmavid. Okay, but still he goes to Turiya and come back. Turiya is beyond three, waking state, dream state, deep. The reference is with respect to waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. He's going and coming.
Correct.
So now gradually, he is able to stay longer there. Now, instead of business visa, he got a green card. He is able to stay there longer. So that's why he's called Brahmavidvara, Brahmavidvarenya. He is able to stay in Turiya for a longer duration. But still he is going there and coming back. He is not a permanent citizen. Are you getting what I'm saying? Analogy is clear?
Yes, yes.
So now, finally he gets a citizenship in America. He doesn't have to come back to India. So that is the stage, what's called Brahmavarishta. Now he is staying in Turiya. He is not coming back. Correct? When he stays in Turiya, now there is no point in calling it as Turiya. Turiya is a relative reference. Waking state, dream state, deep state, Turiya is the reference.
Okay.
But if you are staying in Turiya, there is no point in calling it Turiya.
Okay.
That time he is called Turiyaga. That means he is established in Turiya. It's also called Turiyatita. That means he has gone beyond Turiya.
Okay.
He is a citizen now. He is no longer traveling up and down. Now if he comes to India, he comes as an American citizen, not as an Indian citizen.
Okay.
So a Turiyatita comes back to the world, he comes as a Brahman. He interacts with the world, but he has the interaction as a Brahman, not as a Jiva trying to go become Brahman.
Okay.
So this is the Brahmavid, Brahmavara, Brahmavidvara, Brahmavidvarenya, Brahmavidvarishta.
Okay.
Are we clear? The 7 stages, Jnana Bhumika?
Yes, yes, they're very clear.
Any questions?
No. So, even so, for this, after the 7th stage also, the Brahman who is coming back, what is driving him is the samshti vasana.
So, why Brahman or Turiyatita interacts with the world? Ramana Maharshi spent many years in Samadhi, in Virupaksha cave. Then he comes back and stays in the ashram. What is the purpose of staying in the ashram? Is Loka Kalyana.
Okay.
Right? So many people have to get Atma Dhyana, self-enquiry from him. So that's why he comes back and stays in ashram. Now he is in the world, but he is not in the world as a jiva. He is not in the world as a yogi, sadhaka. He is in the world as Brahman, helping people in the samashti vasana to get jnana.
Okay.
Right? He is no longer operating as an individual.
Okay.
Correct? So now you look at, remember the ladder which I showed you, right? Jnana Bhumika, not what is called, 7 stages of enlightenment I show as a staircase.
Correct.
Staircase number 1, 2, 3 is waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. It's common to all living beings.
Yes.
Then Turiya or Samadhi is there, which is 4th stage. So Brahmavid, Brahmavara, Brahmavarenya, they go back, go to 4th stage and come back. Right? So they are subject to some vasanas. They may get anger, fear, anxiety, all those things they can get. It's not that they have become very clean. But they'll be able to recover immediately because of jnana.
Yes.
Correct? So now, as he do that, somebody crosses to 5th stage. which is actually Sakshi.
Mm.
So now in the Sakshi stage, right, he is able to observe your vasanas, mental states very, very with the awareness.
Mm.
So now most of the vasanas are getting burnt because awareness has increased internal to him.
Yes.
So suppose anger is there. The anger rising he can see.
Mm.
At the anything can happen with the para, pashanti, madhyami, vaikari level.
Mm.
A ignorant person see the anger only when it comes out, which is vaikari.
Mm.
Whereas a Jnani will be able to see at deeper level, pashanti, madhyami, or even para.
Mm.
A subtle level. So because he is able to subtle level, the chain of anger collapses or emotional disturbance collapses.
Mm.
Now he has become more and more free from vasanas.
Mm.
Right? To the extent of vasanas, he has become aware.
Mm.
Right? Such a person in Buddhist term is called Arihanta, Arhat.
Mm.
Arihanta means he has killed the enemies.
Mm.
What type of enemies? Kama, Krodha, Mada, Matsara, Moha, Lobha. The enemies which disturb the mental, this thing, they are killed. When they are killed at almost at the seed level.
Mm.
Right? They are burnt at the seed level, pride level.
Mm.
Correct?
Mm.
So now they don't sprout again.
Mm.
It is like if you put a peanut in the ground, the peanut will sprout and the plant will come. But if you burn the peanut, what means you fry the peanut, if you put this plant also, plant will not come.
Yes.
His vasanas are getting burnt more and more because of his nididhyasa or samadhi practice.
Mm.
Correct? And of course, karma yoga as he operates in the world.
Mm.
Nididhyasa is when you sit for meditation. Karma yoga or kriya yoga is when you operate in the world. Outer mind is outwards.
Mm.
Yoga is outward mind and nididhyasa is inward mind.
Mm.
Right? It's frying. So now he is established in Sakshi. That means your waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, he is becoming more and more free from any of these mental disturbances.
Mm.
He is already mukta.
Mm.
Okay, in that stint. Now
Mm.
he is living in the stillness.
Mm.
But the world is still there. World is still there. He understands the world is mithya and all those things he understands, but still the world is there.
Mm.
So now he has understood Atman. I am Pratyekatma.
Okay.
World is Brahman, the totality.
Mm.
So the stillness he starts seeing in the world. The world is, he has to be, that next two stages, what is called Padartha Abhavani, Tanumanasa and Padartha Abhavani, he starts seeing the world as Brahman.
Asama Sakti and Padartha.
Asama Sakti and Padartha Abhavani, which is actually in those two stages. In my enlightenment ladder, it is the sixth stage.
Mm.
So where he experiences the very subtle aspect of the world also. He is able to see the world as mithya, not as a concept, but as aparoksha.
Okay.
Right? So now he has entered into sixth stage. The sixth stage I call it as more of a Ishvara Sakshi.
Mm.
So now he has not the individual Jiva Sakshi, he is a Ishvara Sakshi. He is able to observe the universe in the form of a Ishvara.
Mm.
Right? Now what will happen? More and more universal actions can happen through the body-mind complex. He is no longer an individual operating, the universe operates through him.
Mm.
And more Loka Kalyana can happen through that body-mind complex.
Mm.
Correct? So then, after that stage, which is sixth stage, Jiva Sakshi, Ishvara Sakshi, then he will become Parabrahman. He is fully established. He has become Turyatita, which is seventh stage.
Mm. Mm.
Are we clear?
Okay.
I am not saying everybody has to go through these stages. Many people may skip their stages based on their vasanas, previous life vasanas and all.
Mm.
We are not saying everybody has to go through these stages.
Mm.
I have put these stages to bring the clarity.
Okay. Mm. It's very clear and very comprehensive, Prabhuji.
Hmm?
Mm. Yes.
So any other? Now your question was how anger can arise
Mm.
in a Jnani for Loka Kalyana.
Mm.
So now the anger itself per se is nothing wrong in that.
Mm.
So Jnani can have, anger is energy. All emotions are energy only.
Okay.
So emotion means energy in motion.
Mm.
Anger is a emotion, energy in motion. Right? Energy can be destructive or constructive.
Mm.
Correct?
Mm.
So for example, the joke falls, water is falling.
Mm.
So Vishweshwara, the engineer says, what a waste of time. Let me put a generator and generate electricity.
Mm.
the energy is converted into electricity for Loka Kalyana. Similarly, energy within the Jnani will be used for Loka Kalyana, any energy. Correct? Is that understood? The energy can be used for destructive purpose or constructive purpose.
Yes.
So, destructive or constructive purpose depends on the type of vasana you have. Okay? If a Veshti vasana is there, selfishness is there, the energy will be causing you trouble. Anger will causing you disturbance. It will cause disturbance for others also. Right? So now, the Veshti vasana is gone. But anger as an energy can be still rising. Right? A Jnani, don't think that he is like a vegetable, sitting somewhere like a stone. Jnani can be bubbling with energy. Right? He can be bubbling with Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Because now Ishvara's powers are manifesting through him in the stage 6. Got it? Now only thing is, Ishvara's powers of Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, under the power of Maya, it becomes Veshti Vasana or Veshti, individual. They cause disturbance and bondage for the individual. When that individuality is gone, the Maya Shakti is gone, that what is called Avidya Maya is gone, it becomes Vidya Maya. So now what will happen? Same energy will be a positive, constructive force in the universe. That's why a Jnani may have so much of force. Right? Shankaracharya travels all over a country, or goes on walk, teaches so much of energy. Right? Buddha teaches for 40 years. Vivekananda goes all over the world and teaches. This is full of energy. Right? Now this energy is used for Loka Kalyana. The anger is also energy. Now this energy channelized for Loka Kalyana. Swami Vivekananda sees, okay, people are poor, people are hungry. Then sadness arises in him. Oh, how many people are suffering? Sadness arises in him. But sadness is not depressing, but the sadness becomes a constructive energy. How do I get these people out? Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
Somebody is trying to, let's say, doing adharma. Okay, Sri Krishna sees it. Okay, now, when Sri Krishna sees, anger arises in Krishna. Now the anger gets channelized into establishing dharma, rather than for purpose of individual vasana.
Yes.
Right? See, the very simple thing you have to understand. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. So energy, whatever energy earlier you have, negative energies, they will become positive and constructive in a Jnani, to the extent of liberation of vasanas.
Okay.
Alright? That's why you see many Jnanis are fully active, they are bubbling with energy, they will motivate people, they will inspire people. Okay, then what about Ramana Maharshi? He is also Jnani. He is not going all around the world, but he is sitting in a place. Now Jnana Shakti is bubbling. Jnana Shakti is fully manifest. Kriya Shakti is not manifesting fully. Kriya Shakti, he doesn't go walk around. There are 3 Shaktis, no? Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Jnana Shakti is fully manifested. The Jnana Shakti is used for teaching. Are you clear?
Yes.
So is that question answered?
Yes. I think this is very clear, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anything else?
No. Thanks a lot, Prabhuji.
Okay. We'll close with the prayer. Asatoma
Asatoma
Sadgamaya
Sadgamaya
Tamasoma
Tamasoma
Jyotirgamaya
Jyotirgamaya
Mrityorma
Mrityorma
Amritam Gamaya
Mritangamaya
Om
Om
Shanti
Shanti
Shanti Shantihi
Shantihi
Purnamadah
Purnamada
Purnamidam
Purnamidam
Purnat
Purnat
Purnamuduchyate
Purnamudachyate
Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnamadaya
Purnamadaya
Purnamevavashishyate
Purnamevavasishyate
Om
Om
Shanti
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 Shantihi
Shantihi
Lokaah Samastaah
Loka Samasta
Sukhino Bhavantu
Sukhino Bhavantu
Lokaah Samastaah
Loka Samasta
Sukhino Bhavantu
Sukhino Bhavantu
Lokaah Samastaah
Loka Samasta
Sukhino Bhavantu
Sukhino Bhavantu
Harihi Om
Harihi Om
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha
Shri Gurubhyo Namah
Harihi Om So I told the distinction between Brahmavid, Brahmavidvara, Brahmavidvarenya, Brahmavidvarishta. Okay? The distinction is only from the outer interface to the world. Jnana-wise, they all of them know I am Brahman.
Okay.
Right? They all of them, Jnana, there is no difference. But outer manifestation is different because of the residual prarabdha karma.
Okay.
Right? So all of them are muktas. Brahmavid, Brahmavidvara, Brahmavidvarenya, Brahmavidvarishta, all are muktas. But Brahmavid, nobody will know because he is fully engaged in society. Brahmavidvarishta may be sitting somewhere or he may be teaching also. So clear?
Yes, yes.
So all are Jivan Muktas. Brahmavid, Brahmavidvara, Brahmavidvarenya, Brahmavidvarishta.
Okay. So all of them will not have any further lives.
The moment you become Brahman, you understand I am never born.
Yes.
That question itself doesn't arise. No, I am not born, I am not dying. I am Sakshi.
Okay.
So now whatever is happening is body-mind complex, which is a vehicle which is manufactured. The prarabdha karma of that body and all is only functioning. He understands I don't have prarabdha karma. From Jnani's point of view, he don't have prarabdha karma also. Right? Because he is not a body.
Okay. If that is mukta, the Jivan mukta is one of them or all of them?
All of them are Jivan Muktas.
Okay.
See, the moment you understand I am Brahman, you are already Mukta. Okay? I am saying I am Brahman understood Aparoksha Jnana, not Paroksha Jnana. Right? You are already free.
Okay.
Alright? But the residual vasanas for teaching purpose or Loka Kalyana, they will continue. For the vehicle, not for the Jnani.
Okay.
Right? Any Jnani you have to understand in two dimensions. One as a dimension of Atma or Sakshi or Brahman. Another dimension as ego for functioning in the world.
Okay.
Right? So whenever you speak of Sthitaprajna Lakshana or Jivan Mukta quality, we are only speaking of the ego, not about the Atma.
Okay.
So Jnani is understanding I am Atma, I am Brahman, which is transcendental reality.
Yes.
But he may, depending on stage, he may keep coming back, falling back and coming back. Brahmavidvarana, Brahmavidvarishta. In case of Brahmavarishta, he will be staying there.
Okay.
Loka Kalyana, purpose he may do something. Okay, so that Jnani's point of view, I am Brahman, it will never change.
Okay.
So Jnani has to be understood in two dimensions. As Atma and as an ego. So for example, if somebody goes and asks Ramana Maharshi, like Ramana Maharshi, Maharshi ji, can you please, are you eating food? Right? So the moment you call Ramana Maharshi, he will turn his around. That means he is identifying with the name. So this identification with the name is for transactional purpose. It's a burnt ego. If you call him Ramana Maharshi, he doesn't turn his head, then nobody will interact with him, no? Cannot interact.
Yes. Yes.
So for transaction purpose, he'll interact with, knowing very well that I am not the name. Okay? Then please eat food. He'll say, I'll eat the food. Knowing very well that body eats the food, I am the Sakshi, Atma. So then he asks, who am I? Find out who am I? I am Brahman. Then he is referring to Sakshi, Atma.
Yes.
So he is like he has very clear understanding. He will never get confused between the transactional ego and real self.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Okay.
Shall we close for the day?
Yes.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.